Hello and welcome. This is part 2 of Translating Clear by Maaya Sakamoto. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'd recommend you go look that up. You should be able to find it. Just search in my channel, go watch that one, and then come back. So you'll get the first half of this song, and then in this video, we will cover the second half, starting right now. So, as you can see at the top here, I have the furigana for each part of the song. And how this works is, this is the kanji, and up on top is the hiragana, so that kind of explains how to pronounce these words if you don't know all this kanji. So, we have this katae awase, so this is katae, this is awase. It's kind of like a phonetic guide. And if you don't know how any of this works, you can't read any of that, I do have the romaji right here. But if you are very serious about learning Japanese, I would really recommend that you start by learning the hiragana and katakana. They're only alphabets about the size roughly of English, so it should only take you a couple weeks, maybe 2 to 4 weeks, and I very much recommend you do that. And then I also have the English underneath the romaji, and then just kind of all the definitions down here. So, to get into this verse, what we have is kotae awase wa mo shitaku nai minna to onaji janakute mo. So, this kotae awase is checking answers or verifying one's answers. And then wa makes that the topic of the sentence. And mo is like already or anymore. It can also just be like exasperation, like mo. But it's like more like already right here. And next we have shitakunai, which is the Thai negative form of suru, which means to do. So to first change that to its Thai form, and normally with an ichiran verb, you would change the do to tai, but because this is an irregular verb, we're also changing that su to shi, and you just kind of have to remember that suru becomes shitai, and that means that you want to do that action. That's what the tai form means. And next we're going to make it negative, so you don't want to do that. And this tai turns it into an e ending verb, so to make that negative, that e changes to kunai. So, suru becomes shitai, becomes shitakunai. Like, I do not want to do that thing. So, like, I already don't want to check answers or verifying one answers. And, like, before we were just talking about in the last video that she's saying she knows that, like, not everyone is the same, but she kind of unconsciously, by mistakes, keeps kind of comparing herself to others. So this is kind of just reiterating that. It's like, I don't want to like keep checking my answers. I don't want to compare myself to other people. I won't do that. And then mina is everyone, and to means and or with, and then onaji is like the same or identical or equal, and then this janakute mo is the teimo form of janai, which means is not, and this teimo is like even if, so even if they aren't the same. So, for this adjective form, that e changes to like kute for the te form, and then you add on mo for this te plus mo form. So, janai becomes janakute, becomes our janakute mo. So, like, kind of even if we aren't, or like, yeah, even if we aren't the same with everyone, I don't want to keep checking my answers. It's kind of like, I don't want to compare anymore, even if everyone isn't the same. It's kind of a weird way to put that, but she's kind of saying the same things she was saying before. You know, we're all different. We shouldn't compare each other to one another. Next we have watashi ni dekiru koto mitsuketai no. So, watashi is me or I, and me is marking like the means of an action, by, with, or through. It's kind of like doing it by myself kind of concept. And then dekiru is to be able. And that's like kind of being defining what koto is. Like dekiru koto is a thing that I'm able to do. And then this mitsuketai is the Thai form of mitsukeru, which is to discover or to find. And this is an ichiran do ending verb, so that do changes to tai. This is kind of like you change it to its past form and you add on e. So like, you know, mitsuketa would be the past form, then this e makes it its tai form. So mitsukeru, mitsuketai. So I want to discover the thing that like I'm able to do, the things that I can do by myself, what I'm capable of. And the no here is adding emphasis. So yeah, like the English is just like, I want to discover what I'm capable of. Stop comparing yourself and find what you can do. It's really good advice. This next verse has yumete, aete, hontou wa yoku shiranai. So yume is dream, and te is the quoting particle. This is from the first verse. We had this come up twice, so it's the same format with having like a noun and then the casual quoting particle, kind of say like this and this, kind of stuff like that. And then I is love, and then another casual quoting particle, so kind of like stuff like dreams and love. Like honto is truth or really, and then wa makes that the topic marker. And then yoku is like well or skillfully, like a lot. And then shiranai here is unknown or like I don't know or I don't understand. This is kind of like the negative form of shiru, which means to know, to understand, and that you make that, yeah, it's a godan-nu ending verb, so you'd make that u-based ending to its a-based ending, and then you add on nai. So shiru becomes shiranai, which is what we have here, so you don't know. So it's like, I don't really know. This whole thing is like, I really don't know, like what love is or what dreams are. So it's kind of like dreams, love, I don't really understand them. Aw, she's so young and sweet. Next we have donna iro, donna katachi, doko kara yatte kuru no? And like donna is like what kind of, when we have this twice, so it's kind of a similar format we had before. It's kind of like stuff like love and dreams, and then we have like, you know, what kind of color, what kind of shape. Again, we have this dona and the katachi. It's like shape or form. So like what kind of colors, what kind of shape. And then doko is where or from like what place. Then kara is from. So doko kara is kind of like from where. And then this yatte kuru is the teikuru form of yaru, which means to do or to perform. It's kind of like a bit more casual form of suru. And to make that to its te form, it is an ichiran do verb. So, oh no, it's a godan. It's a godan nu verb, so that's why you have this tiny te here. Because ichiran nu, the do, would change to te, but since this is actually godan, we have that tiny tsu in there. So, for the godan nu, it becomes tiny tsu and a te, and then you just add on that kuru. So, yaru becomes yatte, becomes yatte kuru. And this tiny tsu works, like you don't really say anything with it, it's just like a space, a stop. So versus yatte, we say yatte. Just like a little subtle stop right there for our yatte kuru. And that's kind of like to be in that state of doing, or like to come to doing that, or continuing to do that thing. So it's like, where does it come from? It's like, this is kind of like from where is it doing? But it's really like in English, you would like translate that like, I'm like, where is it coming from? And then no here is making that into a question. So like, what kind of colors is it? What kind of shape does it have? Where does it come from? Like, you know, we're kind of referring to like love and dreams. She doesn't understand. So she's kind of like, oh, what are these things? And iro, like in songs and stuff, it can also mean kind of like I guess like passion or being filled with color, kind of like versus having a dreary, drab, monochrome existence versus having a colorful existence. So I could be using it in that kind of connotation. Our next verse here we have inotte, negatte, sore dake ja kanawanai. So our inotte is the te form of inoru, which is to pray or to wish. And this here, yeah, it's that godan do ending, so the same deal. That do changes to a tiny tsu and a te, and like the same with the godan u. So do and u, they both become our tiny tsus here. So inotte, and this negatte from the verb negao, which means to wish or to desire. So this is kind of like praying or wishing, so kind of similar concepts. And then sore is that, kind of referring to praying and wishing. And then dake, so only that. And then ja is kind of like just is, a little bit like this right here, so just that. And this kanawanai is the negative form of kanao, which is to come true, and that does like specifically pertain to a wish that comes true. So to make this godan u ending verb negative, that u changes to wa. This is like special, like with the u, if it wasn't a u, if it was like a do or something else, that u would change to its a based form, but because this is u, special, that u changes to wa, just so it sounds a little bit better. That happens in a couple different conjugations, including this one. So kanau becomes our kanawanai. So it will not come true. It's like just by hoping and praying and wishing, your dreams won't come true. You gotta do something. It's like a really good advice song. Look at the lyrics. We have next, 自信がなくても始めるんだ。いつかじゃなくて今できるよね。More good advice. So this jishin is self-confidence, or confidence in oneself, and then ga makes that the subject marker, and then nakutemo is even if not, so even if you don't have self-confidence. Hajimeru, to start or to begin, and then nda is kind of like, this is kind of adding in like an explanatory tone, like it is the fact that, so it's like you should start even if you don't have any self-confidence, just do it. Then itsuka, sometime or someday, janakutemo is the adjective te form of janai, which means is not, and that I changes to kutte here in its te form, and janai becomes janakute. And I should say like te form, there's a lot of times where I feel like in songs they just kind of throw it in there because it sounds right, but it can kind of mean like to link sentences together like and it can also link verbs together in conjoining stuff together. So just so you know, that's kind of Tay is doing here. It's kind of like doing this and the next part too. You can think of it like that. So ima is now, and then dekiru is to be able to do. So it's kind of what you can do right now. And then yo is adding emphasis, and this ne is kind of like more emphasis and kind of request for confirmation, because like it'd be like, I'm awesome, right? Right? It'd be that right. Just like there, it's like you know you're, or at least you think that you're right, and you're just kind of like, oh, this is a fact, right? You agree with me. That's kind of how ne is working here. So it's kind of like, even if you don't have self-confidence, you need to start, not someday, no, you need to do it now. And so kind of the English turns out like, even if I lack confidence, I have to get started, not someday, I can do it right now. Then going on, that's from the song. I kind of like leave the English out because you don't really need to translate that. You should know what going on means. So, next we have, Izumi ga koko ni aru no watashi o tsukasadoru minamoto ga. So, izumi is a spring or a fountain. Ga makes that the subject marker. And then koko is here. It's close to the speaker. And then ni is showing the location. So, in here or at here. And then aru is to exist for inanimate objects. Again, aru is for things like chairs or fountains. And then iru is to exist for things like people and animals. And we don't know what zombies are. Zombies kind of pose a grammatical issue in Japanese because they're both alive and dead. So it's like, oh, which one do you use? It's a question. And then this no is adding emotional emphasis. Just kind of like an exclamation point, if you will. So here, a spring exists, essentially is what we're saying. And then watashi is I, and then o makes that the direct object, and then tsukasadoru is to rule, to govern, or to administer, and then minamoto is the source or origin, and then ga is making that the subject marker. Now this one is very up to interpretation how this works. I'm thinking that this is backwards because they'll do that sometimes in either casual speech or songs. That this Minamoto ga should actually be here. So it would be like Minamoto ga watashi o tsugasadoru. So it's kind of like this spring is the source that rules and governs over myself. So I kind of like translate it as like the source of my values. It kind of like is governing over what I think is right and wrong and stuff like that. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. This one is definitely a little bit flowery, if you will. So the English side, like the spring, it's right here, the source of my values. It's what's governing my decisions, my life. So next we have nani ga atte mo. That means you with this karetari shinai. So nani is what, and then ga makes that the subject marker. And then atemo is a teimo form of aru, which means to exist or to be. And that is a godan do ending. So that do changes from do to its little tiny tuna te, and then you just add on mo. So that's like te form, then that's the mo for this teimo form. So that teimo again is like even if. So even if it exists. So like no matter what exists. We have this karetari, which is this is like kind of tari suru form of kariru. There should be a second verb here, which is omitted for this grammar form to kind of be complete. But that's kind of essentially what's happening here. For this tari form, you would take the ru and change it to ta and add di. So it's kind of like making it past form and then adding a di on there for this ichidan verb. So this kareru becomes karetari. And you'd usually have this like karetari suru, which means like doing things like A and B. So if you were like tabitari and nomitari, that would be doing things like eating and drinking. But here we're only having this kareru, which means to dry up. So we can kind of think about it as like doing stuff like drying up. And then the shinai here is the negative of suru. So it's like a regular verb, just kind of have to remember that one. And that means to not do. So to not do stuff like drying up. So the English kind of here is no matter what happens, it will never dry up. And she is referring to like that spring in her heart. It'll never go away no matter what. So believe in yourself. And next we have akirameta tsumori demo matta tomei na mono de mita sarete iku. And if you remember, we already had this tomei na mono de part, but this first part is new. They changed it up a bit in this verse. And I'll mention you might notice there are some parts missing from my translation from the entire song. Any parts that aren't here are parts that were repeat. So they were already kind of covered previously, so I didn't do them over again. So you kind of like, if there's a part like, oh, what does this mean again? If you're looking at the song lyrics, you should be able to kind of go back earlier in the video and find those. So first we have this. Akirameta is the past form of akirameru, which means to give up or to abandon on your hopes and your plans. Don't do it, Sakura. So that past form here, this do becomes a ta. So akirameru becomes akirameta. So like giving up, having given up. And tsumori is like the intention or belief. So like you thought you were gonna give up, you believed you were going to give up, you're at that space for thing. And then demo is but, however, mata again or still, tomei, a transparent thing. This is kind of like referring back to the name of the song, which is clear, the name of the anime, clear cards. So we have this tomei, which is kind of how to say that in Japanese, really. Clear things. And then na, this is the adjective marker for na adjectives because tomei is a na adjective. So you use that to make it describe a noun, which is mono. So tomei na mono means clear things. And then de is marking that by the means of the actions, like with clear things or by clear things. We have this mita sareteiku, which is the passive teiku form of mitasu, which is to be satisfied or filled up. So you're filled up with all this like clear stuff, which maybe it's love or hope or dreams, any of those, all good things to be filled with. And in this passive form first, we take that su-based ending, you change that u-based ending to its a-based ending, and then you add on neru. So mitasu becomes mitasareru. And then all passive forms are ichidan verbs. So that do just changes to a te for its te form, and then you plop on iku. So mitasu, mitasareru, mitasarete-iku. So that's kind of like you're being in the state of that action, or you're going to do that some action. So passive here is having something done to you by someone or something. So it's being done by the clear objects, your clear cards, what have you. So this is being in the state of being filled up by clear cards. That's how that works. But kind of in the English, to break that down a bit, it's more like I believed I'd given up, but again, I was filled with something clear. Love, hope, and all good things. And I hope you are also filled with positive vibes. Because this is the end of the video. No. So I hope you have good feelings about what we just went over. I hope you enjoyed it, had fun, maybe learned something. Subscribe if you want to see more, because there will be more. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again later. Mata ne!